Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Uncut Africa Live, a channel that brings you insight of African politics, and I'm always your guy, De-Graft Amoako. For the past 2 days, there's been a Russia-African summit happening in Moscow, and some African leaders didn't go there just to be spectators, but to make sure they contributed their quota. One leader who has started the summit on a positive note is Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni. Let me not bore you with a lot of talks. Let's watch this video and I will be back.
As I told you when we met before, and as I would be saying in some of my speeches, the relationship between the Soviet Union and Africa was very crucial for the liberation of Africa. As I told you, in South Africa, by 1900, the whole of African continent had been colonized, except for Ethiopia. There were two big events which happened soon after that. One was the formation of the African National Congress in South Africa in 1912. That was the first time the Africans were organizing for liberating Africa. Then in 1917, the communists took over power in Russia here, and they were the first international group to support us. And then later on, they were joined by China, 1949. That formed a solid anti-colonial force. So even when all these things are happening, we tell whoever wants that, look here, the Soviet people are the first who stood with us when we were fighting against colonialism. Therefore, this is the starting point. I thank you very much for the laboratory, and I thank you for the scholarships. Even in the past, we have had many of our students studying here. But now, we propose new areas, like for instance, the area of refinery and exploration for petroleum products. We have got some little oil which we want to export as crude, but also refine for the East African market. Then we have got the pipeline to the ocean for the crude oil, in which we are involved with Total, the French company, and some Chinese companies. But Russian companies can also come in and invest in that East African crude pipeline, because it can pour the oil of not only Uganda, but even South Sudan and Congo, Kinshasa. We have also agreed with the Russian groups on building a nuclear power station for generating electricity. And that one is going on, and I'm very happy with that. Then we have fertilizers, very big potential for phosphates and for potassium, and also for ammonia. And I would want to invite Russian companies to if they can, to take part in that.
Okay, this is very good. This is very good. Watching the video, I picked few things from this particular video, and I would like to share my opinion on this. I think at the beginning of the video, the president gave some history lessons about how Russia supported Africa even during the colonial era. So he wanted to tell the Russians that Russians has always been an allies of African countries. Russians has always been an allies of African countries, and that one is well known that Russia never colonized. They has never colonized any African countries, and they were in support of African countries gaining independence from the Western countries, which that has been established by the president of Uganda, Yoweri Museveni. And one thing I also picked from the video is, it seems now African leaders are trying to do the right thing. They are trying to right the wrongs they did some few years ago, and they are trying to tell the Western countries or the Russians that, Russia, that it is not going to be always you people coming for our raw materials. It's about time we try to also refine our raw materials ourselves, so that we can create employment in our own countries, so that our citizens can also get something to do. So this time rather, the president is telling the Russian president that they should come and invest in their refined industries they are building, which includes building East African pipelines to pass gas and oil from Kampala so that they can supply among the East African countries, and also refining other raw materials he mentioned. That is really something he needs to be applauded. They didn't go there for give us a loan and go and do this. They want to tell them, come and invest in our things we are doing. Things we are already doing, or things that is in the pipeline for us to do. This time it's not more like we are begging you, give us money, we are begging you, but rather come and invest in our raw material, refined industries we are trying to build, and all these things. And if Africa is going to refine our own raw materials and build industries to make sure we have created employment for the citizens of the country, so that if you come and invest in it, you are going to benefit, and we are also going to benefit. This is a very good message to be communicated to any Western country. It has to be always about partnership. It doesn't have to be going always one way. You come, you pick raw materials, you go and refine it, and we come back and come and buy it. And at the end of the day, our citizens are going to be jobless, have nothing to do. That's something that has never benefited Africa. And it's time we start putting our foot on the ground and say to the West, it's not going to be business as usual, but rather, please come and invest in our industries, come and invest in the country, so that we can also create employment for our citizens. It's a very good initiative Mr. Yoweri Museveni put in front of the Russian delegates. I'm going to bring you latest news from the Russia-African Summit. So if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, then please take some time and subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification button so that anytime I upload any great content, you will be notified. Thanks for watching.